All right, problems 11, 12, and 13. All right, the key here is getting both sides. Now, if we have an exponent that has a variable in it, we want to use logarithms. But when we have an exponent on both sides of the equation that has a variable in it, we may need to use logarithms, we may not. Okay? Now in this case, it's pretty simple. Okay? It's 2 to some power and it's 2 to some power. Well, think about it. If they're equal, right? Is 2 to the third power equal to anything other than 2 to the third power? No. 2 to the third power is equal to 2 to the third power. That's it. So these two things have to be the same. Well, that's simple. Then these have to be equal. That's it. I don't need logarithms at all. I just need my algebra. However, I need some serious algebra because this isn't easy algebra, right? This is some serious algebra. Now, I remember factoring, so I want to get everything to equal 0, right? So I'm going to subtract x squared, and I'm going to add 1 and add 1. Because, you know, we're big boys and girls now. We can do 2 steps at once. We don't need to do everything by 1 step at a time, right? And so this cancels with this cancels with this, and I get 0. This gives me x squared, because 1 from 2 is 1. There's nothing here, so that's still just x, and 1 plus negative 5 is negative 4. Now when I start to factor this, because I would really love to factor this, even though I know a lot of you struggle with some factoring, with the 5-step method, it's a lot easier, right? So I think about the product and the sum, right? Because that's the most important thing, right? And the product is 4, and the sum is 1. And am I ever going to subtract any two numbers and multiply to be 4 that end up at 1? Right? Because there's only 2 and 2, 2 times 2, and 1 times 4. They're not going to subtract to be 1. This is not factorable. So now what? What else do we have in our bag besides factoring? Come on. Reach deep into last semester. What do you got? People. A, B, C. AX squared plus BX plus C. Do you remember that? Quadratic formula. Negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Now I didn't write it out, I just said it. So you might need to rewind this and rewind it until you can follow it through. Negative B. B is negative 1. Okay? I'm going to start plugging in. Negative 1 for B. Negative 1 for B. A. That would be 1. And then C. That would be negative 4. Okay? Now it's just all math. Simple. Okay? So negative and a negative is a positive.
You almost didn't say it right.
Negative 1 squared is 1. Negative times negative is a positive. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 1 is 2. I don't know why I wrote a positive but not a 1. Right? And so then I have 1 plus or minus the square root of 17 all over 2. And that's your x.
I put 2 pluses instead of 3.
Yeah, my bad. Alright? Good. So, with this one, I want to make it look like this guy. Really, really, really want to make it look like this guy. Because that was pretty easy. Okay? So, can I make a 9 look like a 3? How?
Can you make a 9 look like a 3?
How do I make a 9 look like a 3? 3 to the second power. Good, good. Okay, so this is 3x plus 2. This is 3 squared. That's the same thing. To the 2x minus 2. And now, everybody on the block gets the paper. So 3 to the x plus 2 is equal to 3 to the 4x minus 4. Then I set these equal to each other and bring it on over. X plus 2 is equal to 4x minus 4. Subtract x, subtract x. If I want to subtract the x here, I'm going to move the 4 plus 4 plus 4. That way I cancel on this side, I cancel on that side, and I get 6 is equal to 3x. Divide by 3, and I get 2 is equal to x. Pow! Easy peasy. Okay? Slow down.
Oh no.
Oh. Go faster?
No, you shut up.
Alright. Now, this one, I want to do the same thing. Can I make a 32 look like a 2?
Can I make a 32?
Not a 32. 2. A 32 kind of does look like a number 2, right? 32. That was funny. That's as good as you get in here. Doesn't get better than that. Okay. So, 32. How do I get it? Did I? 2 to the 5th. 2 to the 5th. Right? We should know that by now. Remember, we're memorizing these. 2 to the 2nd, 4. 2 to the 3rd, 8. 2 to the 4th, 16. 2 to the 5th, 32. Okay? So now everybody on the block is the paper. Okay? 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 5 is 25. Equals 2 to the 7x minus 6. So now I just set these two equal to each other. So I have 7x minus 6 is equal to 5x plus, that's a crappy x. X minus 25. Okay? And now I can subtract 5 because I take the lowest x, right? And since I moved it from this side, I got to move it from that side. Plus 6, plus 6. That way I kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I get 2x is equal to, what is that, negative 19?
That's harsh. You gotta kill birds now?
Yeah. You know I love to kill birds. Then I got x is equal to 9.5 negative. Okay. We're almost there, people. We got this.